Well, I think this morning we were speaking a lot, or earlier this afternoon we were speaking a lot on the multifocal lenses, and I think most of us were actually concentrating or thinking in our heads. We were thinking multifocal, trifocal, EDOF, but we didn't really speak at all about Mini-Monovision today. So let's talk a little bit about how you would go about to decide, are you going to put in a trifocal or EDOF lens, or won't you just do a Mini-Monovision? I don't have any financial interest in any of the products that I've discussed at this meeting. So, if you look in South Africa, we only have 324 ophthalmologists, and I'm actually doing about 500 surgeries a year, and we don't have accurate numbers of what's happening in the public sector. But if you're looking at what's happening in the rest of the world, there's 5 million surgeries in India per annum, 3 million in the USA, 800,000 in Germany, and 500,000 in France. I hope those figures are correct. So it's a huge market. I think the main thing that's happening now in the ophthalmology world is the adoption of the premium IOLs. There's still a lot of surgeons out there that aren't using toric lenses, that aren't using multifocal lenses. In 2014, 16.6% of my practice was multifocal and 9.6% toric. And last year, when I looked at the numbers, it's now 27% multifocal, that's, I would say, trifocal mostly. And my toric IOLs have gone up from 9% in the last 4 years to 21%. And this is what's happening all over the world. It's going up. In the USA, it's about only about 15% at this stage. I think one of the things that the people are seeing in the media is marketing. And it's sometimes a little bit overly exaggerated, the marketing, and not completely realistic. If we look at the multifocal IOLs, it's normally better if you're doing both eyes, but because the trifocal lenses are so effective, it is possible to put it only in one eye and in the other eye, monofocal eye. And these patients are generally free of spectacles under all conditions. They have some disadvantages, as we saw today, which I won't discuss. We've had enough of that today. And in this talk, I'm going to focus a little bit on the fine vision multifocal IOL. And I don't want to discuss the properties of the lens, that's out of the scope of this lecture. And if we're looking at doing monovision, a full monovision would mean that you would be making the patient about 2 diopters to 3.5 diopters of induced myopia. Basically, one of the disadvantages of that would be a loss of somewhat of stereopsis. And what we would normally do is in the dominant eye, you have to test for dominance. In the dominant eye, you put the distance lens, and in the non-dominant eye, the near lens. But you can also do what we call Mini-Monovision. And in this case, you would go for near, you would aim at -1.5. And this is what I'm going to basically talk about. How you decide on which patient you should put multifocal or which patient you should rather go for the Mini-Monovision and aim for -1.5 maximum. So with Mini-Monovision you can even go less. Some of the aspheric lenses will enhance your near vision. So a lot of patients, even if you make them -0.75 or -1, they'll be able to function quite well with their computer. So, the thing about the Mini-Monovision is they have fairly good distance vision and intermediate vision, but they don't have, one of the disadvantages is that when they hold the paper quite near, around 40 centimeters, that would be inadequate, then they would need to have glasses. So it's more ideal for patients that will hold the document a little bit further. And also one of the other disadvantages, of course, with any form of monovision is the driving. Particularly night driving. So if you're going to see patients, you have to basically do a shared decision making. And Maloney's got this chart that he uses and he puts them in certain zones, and the patient will then mark what he would like to do without glasses. And basically the patient then understands that the ones he hasn't marked, he's okay with glasses. So the dominant eye is quite interesting that there's various ways to actually measure the dominance, but we won't go into that because that's a whole talk on its own. There are many ways to measure it. But Maloney says that 100% of patients will accept 1 diopter of monovision, 87% will accept 1.5 diopters, and 73% would accept 2 diopters of monovision. So let's not talk about this one. So what we did was I took a series of patients and with the fine vision lens, and in the Mini-Monovision patients we used the 1000-long Acryos lens. And that was the males were 50% were males, females were also 50%, and most of the patients were dominant eye on the right. So we did the normal surgical preparation as I discussed in my previous talk. We also did a patient satisfaction questionnaire. And it's normally done in the office by one of the girls in the waiting room. And this is what we found. First of all, the green chart is the multifocal and the purple chart is the monovision patients. So looking at safety, that's the formula that you use best corrected acuity post-operatively over best corrected acuity pre-operatively, and that gives you the safety. So in this series it is found 100% safe for Mini-Monovision group and 75% for the multifocal group. So looking at the efficacy, that's when you take uncorrected acuity post-op over best corrected acuity pre-op. And with multifocals that was 0.89 and monovision average was 1. So slightly better for Mini-Monovision group. Looking at the uncorrected distance acuity in the dominant eye, we found that the multifocal average was 0.89 vision, and the Mini-Monovision 0.9. So it was quite similar in both groups. And as Suri earlier said today, it's critical that the distance vision is good because that's directly correlated with your satisfaction. And looking at the spherical equivalent, we had 99% of our patients were between minus 0.5 and plus 0.5. And again, the astigmatism is very important to limit that to 0.5 or less. Looking at the spherical equivalent, we were very accurate with our group. Our average was minus 1.5, which is what we aimed for. Looking at the uncorrected near acuity at 40 centimeters, in other words, a little bit closer, we found that the multifocal average was 0.8, but the monovision was only 0.67. And looking at the stereo acuity, there wasn't much difference. And that was simply because the amount of Mini-Monovision wasn't that much. If it was minus 2 or more, that could have been a little bit worse in the monovision group, but it was not significantly different in this group. So we did a satisfaction questionnaire, and you can see that if you ask the patient overall, are you satisfied with your vision, you would classically get multifocal patients saying it was the best thing in my life, doctor. I should have done that a long time ago. So that is the type of remarks you get. Patients are generally very happy with their vision. The as you can see in the bottom slide here, you can see that the multifocal group were much less dependent on a spectacle than the Mini-Monovision group. So would you have the surgery again? It was 91% of our Mini-Monovision patients said that they would have the surgery again, 75% in the multifocal. And would you recommend somebody else? Again, the Mini-Monovision group was slightly higher than the multifocal group. And looking at this range of symptoms that we looked, I can point out, particularly here, is that the distance vision as the last column here, was very good in both the groups. And then the other one to look at is the cell phone group, which is the fourth column there. You can see using a cell phone that 90% in both groups could use their cell phone. And those two things are particularly important nowadays when you want to get a patient particularly spectacle-free. Looking at great difficulty tasks, it was the driving at night somewhat, and the bothered by glare inhalers. You can see there's many, 35% of patients were really bothered by the glare inhalers in the green group, which is the multifocal group, and only 30% in the mono group. And driving at night, only 9% had great difficulty with the Mini-Monovision, and 20% had great difficulty in the multifocal group. These are the dysphotopsias which we won't talk about. The other important thing is that when somebody does have dysphotopsia, it could be other reasons as well. There is still dry eye, swollen cornea, etc. So you have to look for if you can't fix that somehow. And we had no IOL exchanges in both these groups. We only had 3.5% of these cases that either had an astigmatic keratotomy or LASIK afterwards to correct astigmatism in the multifocal group, and 8% in our Mini-Monovision group. Here, capsulotomy, you will see the percentage is 42% in the multifocal group within 3 months. So any slight opacity with a multifocal, you want to do the capsulotomy. It's not so critical in the 12% in the Mini-Monovision group. The international research shows similar results. Can move on a little bit. So I think offering a Presbyopic solution can be very rewarding. It can be a practice builder. They're very important. As we heard earlier today, patient satisfaction, very important. And I think also the motivation of the patient is important. Price, some patients cannot afford it, so then it's not a problem to offer them the Mini-Monovision because we see these similar results, similar satisfaction. But in essence, if you're talking to the patient, you know what the patient wants, where he's reading, what his lifestyle is he playing golf, is he driving a lot at night, you can actually make a good decision on whether a much less expensive procedure like Mini-Monovision will also work as good for the patient as with the multifocal lens. Thank you for your interest.